David, thank you. Well, recent rain and hot weather and the stuff that David said is coming is posing concerns now over blue-green algae blooms on a number of area waterways.
It happens every summer, but this year some say that algae, which produces dangerous toxins, showing up even earlier in the season. Jason Zimmerman is live in Winnebago County, just outside Oshkosh, after speaking with health officials about this. Jason.
Cami, people I spoke to today say they started seeing the algae last weekend after several really hot days. This is what health officials are warning people about. Take a look. It's that pea-like soup floating on the top of the water with a really bad smell. That's an initial warning sign. Having contact with algae like this can make a person or an animal sick if it gets on your skin or you swallow it swimming. If that happens, you should immediately wash it off and contact a doctor if signs of infection do appear. Last week, these are some pictures taken by a local fishing guide, Stephen Mortensen, who tells us it's some of the worst algae he's seen for early July.
I could smell something in the air, so I kind of knew what it was, so I went down by the lake and I just saw this blue, I mean, it was like a bright baby blue color algae, like foam floating on the surface, and I've never seen it look like that before, and I was a little concerned.
The biggest indicator that we're wanting people to think about and look at is like a pea soup color in the water. Those are the conditions that are very, very highly linked to the toxin-forming bacteria.
Because of the wind, these algae blooms are also known to shift day to day. I'm also told by health officials that some of the blooms are showing up on the Bay of Green Bay as well right now. Reporting live in Winnebago County, Jason Zimmerman, Action 2 News.